Hello there, folks. All right, so here I am live. Um, Two things really to talk about. And the first thing I want to talk about, obviously, before I get to what the title of the video is about, first thing I wanted to talk about was rally. Obviously, online virtual rally coming up. Oop, my camera's a little bit askew there. All right. Online virtual rally coming up this weekend. Okay, so it's going to start for people in the U.S. somewhere like, late Friday night or early Saturday morning when the Australian leg kicks it off with Mark Hodnott over in Australia. And then Mark is going to go for 5 hours. He's going to have various guests. Actually, guests are still, a lot have already been confirmed and stuff, but a lot of guests are still kind of being figured out and stuff. And we're finding out what people are willing to get on and get on camera with us and talk and create that rally type of situation. So that's one thing that's going on. So be looking for that next weekend, folks. We're going to be putting out various things this weekend. You want to follow Jane Sharper Than a Pencil on Twitter and Diane Little Misty, Sharon Sunshine, or on Twitter it's Sharon Sunshiny. These three ladies are going to be they're going to be constantly pumping out any updates regarding the virtual rally coming up this weekend. All that stuff, those three ladies are going to be the horse's mouth, as it were. I mean, that they're going to have the information because it's them. So yes, Ripper is alive. He's doing well. We'll get to that in a second. But thank you all for being here. So yeah, it's pretty great. It's awesome. So we're all looking forward to that. So like I said, it's going to start off with the Australian leg first with Mark Hodnott doing 5 hours. Then it's going to jump to the UK leg where it's going to be on Jane Sharper Than a Pencil's channel there. And then 5 hours the UK leg. And then it's going to be 5 hours on the US leg. And we're going to be on Linda's channel there starting out. So, we're going to be, and then that'll be 5 hours on the US leg. So that's what we're looking at, about 15 hours total of, total hours, 15 total hours for the entire event. It should be, like I said, it should be packed with a lot of fun and stuff. We're working on getting special video clips and things like that we can play for you guys. When I say special, I really mean it. Special clips from people that you guys are going to be very interested to hear from. So, and even some guests. So, I mean, hey, there's a lot going on. So everybody be looking out for the virtual rally coming up this coming weekend. Now, all right, getting back to what the name of the video is, folks. Ripper is freaking off the freaking hook right now. Holy Christ, this guy. Oh, I love it, dude. I love it. He is over there rattling Carol's cage, man. He is rattling her cage, and she is going nuts. You guys saw the thumbnail that I had for the video, right? That was Carole Baskin's video. You recognize that Don Lewis missing thing, right? Here, let me pull up that screenshot so we can all look at it together here real quick. Hold on. So when Johnny said that she had done a video and was talking about him, I was like, oh, really? I was like, that was very interesting to me. So I actually did go over before this live. I went over and took a look at Carole's video. I watched about half of it. But the stuff right at the beginning is really what you want, though. I mean, the stuff right at the beginning is what it's all about. So here, let me just screen share this with you guys real quick. Okay, so this is this is just a screenshot from the opening. It's like literally within the first 10 seconds of Carole's video, and you can see right there. Y'all recognize this face, right? I mean, anybody who follows Ripper on YouTube recognizes this, right? So this video, she goes on. Okay, so wait. Hold on. Let's back up just a little bit. Before we get to Carole's video here, we have Ripper yesterday over with boats, cadaver dogs, forensic divers, forensic cameramen, everything over there. And they had two cadaver dogs hit on two different spots in this body of water. And so that's what Ripper was doing yesterday. And I went live yesterday and made you guys all aware of what the hell he was doing and get over there and watch his channel. I think he ended up doing a total, I got them all down below in the description, but he ended up doing like a total of like 8 or 10 of them, somewhere in that area. So every single one of them is linked down in the description below. So I encourage you to go check those out, where Johnny has the footage of the boats and the divers and the dogs and all that sort of stuff. So go check that out. Now, what we got here is Carole, after yesterday, does this video, and Ripper explains this in a live that he just did. He had to stop his live because his phone was dying, but I mean, he was talking about this. So she in this video claims it's brilliant. I mean, I love how Ripper points it out. So he's basically saying how she number one, he is like called Howard before. He's called Howard before. Like, and he's called them before. He's sent emails to her asking about digging up the septic tank like she offered, right? And he even points out that people in her videos were saying, well, why don't you let this guy, Ripper, dig up the septic tanks or whatever? And to which she would respond to them by saying, oh, no, he didn't really want to or something. She came up with some excuse. And Ripper's sitting there going, Ripper's sitting there in his video going, no, I'm right here. And y'all never talk to me, because she was saying something about that they had talked to him. And now he's like, you've never said a word to me. They've never said a word to Ripper. So she's on videos claiming, anyway. So in this video, she's claiming that after, yesterday, just happened to be yesterday, that she just happened to be looking around on YouTube, looking for defaming videos about her or Big Cat Rescue. And she just happened to be looking around and found a playlist. That's what you're looking at right there, folks. That little window there, this is a playlist that she found. It's a playlist of Ripper's videos regarding Don Lewis, right? So she's saying she found this playlist. Now, number one, you don't, as Ripper points out in his video, you don't generally find playlists when you go searching on YouTube. What you generally find is you type in something specific and a title of a video that's close to what you're saying, or videos that are close to what you're saying will pop up. Not generally playlists. So he makes that point, Ripper does, in his video, that it's odd that she would be saying she searched for and found a playlist. It's odd. It's most likely somebody sent this to her because they saw the videos that Johnny was doing yesterday. That and so it's more likely that this got sent to her because somebody saw what was going on over on Ripper's channel, right? So okay, so she does this video. It's brilliant. I mean, she's basically trying to refute Ripper. She basically goes through this long thing. It takes her about 44 minutes. Like I said, I only watched about half of it, but she's trying to go through and pick bones with things that Ripper's saying. And it's brilliant. So, all right, let me just check out the chat here real quick. Now that I've kind of given you guys the gist of what's going on. I see we had Ripper here himself. So how you doing, buddy? Keep up the good work. Obviously, you're tearing it up. I mean, it looks to me you've got Carol's cage is effectively rattled. So good for you. Don't sue me for using your tagline. There you go. There you go. 2-1. So, and that was what basically Ripper's live then went into, is the fact that the way she's talking about, she was looking for, defamation, and that would tend to imply that she was looking to maybe raise some litigation, potentially, right? If she was going out and looking for those things, you know what I mean? So Ripper is basically saying in the video, he's like, okay, everything I put in my videos, I can prove. I have the documents to prove everything I'm saying in my videos, right? So if I get called into court to prove what I've been saying, I'll be able to do so. But then he adds this, and this is the really big part of it, folks. This is the huge part of it, right? Let me go ahead and take down the screen share. The really huge part of it, is the fact that if she tries to sue Ripper, if that is a thought in her head, and she tries to sue Ripper will be able to use the discovery process to get access to things that she may not want to allow people to have access to. And she did mention a data drive in the video, that after seeing this particular video that she mentions in her live video, or in her YouTube video, after that, she's like she's saying that after that she was after seeing it, she well, anyway, she had some bones to pick, whatever. It was wild, but if she wanted to go forward with litigation, well, that's basically it. She was talking about this drive, this hard drive that she went and checked for all the things after watching Ripper's video, that she went and some hard drive that she has that she went and checked to see if there was any mention of the things, certain things or whatever. She said that she couldn't. Now Ripper's of course going, whoa, since you're going to mention that drive and me in the same video, I think if she, basically if she seeks to, sue Ripper, then Discovery's going to go both ways. And so he is probably going to get his hands on that drive or a copy of what's on that drive. Right. So that's, another interesting thing. And if she were to start tampering with that drive now, as of June 14th, and if there was suddenly if they look at the drive and suddenly after June 14th, there's a bunch of forensic, there's a bunch of deletions or whatever, kind of thing, that will be interesting. So I watched, like I said, 20 minutes of it. Carol Baskin and Kratz in the room. Which narcissist survives? That looks like one tired kitty. Let's see here. Hello, everybody. Hello, Ron. Hello, Rhonda Nauman. Hello, Gloria. Hello, TTM Fangirl. Hello, Amberly. Hello, Linda K. So, let's see here. It's fun watching her losers. She actually keeps a pretty even keel through the video, but I gotta say she has a very guarded aspect to the way that she's speaking that I find interesting, personally. So, Up here and turn 2 one's coming off. Okay. So, gotta admit, I expected a video from her. Ripper is smart. He knows something will come out in her responses to give him more info and evidence. Right. And, she's, I mean, that's why I open up, when I started talking here about, this and what's going on with Ripper is, he's rattling her cage, but he's not doing it by threatening her or anything like that. Like any kind of stupid, anything like that. He is getting in, finding the documents and finding the proof and the facts that show that things that she has said are untrue. And so those things have to be reconciled. Pulling him into court and suing him is only going to help him build his case against her. So, I mean, it's like Ripper says in his own live, and he goes, I can't see her wanting to do that, but maybe she will. Who knows? She is spooked, yeah. That one is triggered, yeah. Yeah, Ripper's getting to her. I think he's getting a little bit under her skin a bit. Who is Johnny asking for a link? What are we talking about here? Biggest mistake she'll ever make. Is Johnny asking for the link to Carole's video? Send Ripper the link to the live. Well, she's not live right now. This is her video that Ripper was talking about in his video, but here's the link to it. Here's the link to it here. Let me know if that comes up. Sometimes the links don't go through StreamYards very well, so let me know. I think his presence there probably is getting on her nerves. Oh, you want to link to my live? Oh, my live from yesterday? I'm sorry, Johnny. I'm a little confused. You're asking me for a link to a live while I'm live. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit confused here. I mean, I didn't think you were asking for this one since you're obviously here. So, okay, hold on. Wait, I don't want to lose Carole just yet. All right, here's my live from yesterday. All right, that's the one I did yesterday, where I was also talking about Raleigh, also talking about Daniel Holtzclaw, and also talking about, oh, you mean a link to bring you on? Duh. All right, yeah, hold on, coming. You'll have it here very shortly, buddy. Where is he at? Damn it. There he is. All right. All right, there you go, Ripper. Just check Messenger. And next time in the future, when you're looking to join me, just say StreamYard's link. That way, I mean, I would have instantly like got you. So, all right. So interesting stuff. Obviously, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. To do. Stop sharing. There we go. All right. So, you know, like I said, and Johnny will be here, or Ripper will be here in a second, but you know, he's clearly getting he's getting her worried. I mean, I gotta imagine that searching that body of water to get this response out of her, to get her to finally acknowledge him publicly the way she did in that video, I think that tells me that a sore spot or a tender spot is getting probed or poked. You know what I mean? So, it's, you know, it's that's what I think. Because I mean, she's, with all the stuff that Ripper's been covering over there on his channel, all the things that he's been digging up. I mean, what about the thing about the notary, where that notary stamp was actually sent to Carol Baskin's property? You know what I mean? And that person whose signature is on there, that person was actually like the maid. I mean, this is like this is odd stuff. You know what I mean? But the fact that the notary stamp on those documents that everybody has such big questions about, the fact that that you know, stamp that whoever it is that's the regulatory commission for the for the notaries, I'm sorry, you know, they sent that stamp to Carole's house. I mean, how do you explain things like that? Then there's some issues that Ripper's uncovered with the property, Don's property in Costa Rica. And there's some issues there that he kind of alluded to when him and Mystic Jinx and Nosy Ren were on my channel live last weekend, that he was talking about some of the issues with the property in over in Costa Rica, Don's property, and some things that, you know, that might be developing from that. So obviously Ripper is just all over it. He's on top of it. Him and the ladies that are, you know, continuing to do the research on this, like Mystic Jinx, Nosy Ren, many others, Tina Stewart, many others that are in the group, the Don Lewis Cold Case Files. Hats off to him, because, you know, I really would like to see Don's family get some kind of resolution here, some kind of an idea of what happened, you know, some kind of closure, because I think, honestly, feel bad for them, because I just feel like they got left raw in all of this. So, you know, I do hope they eventually, you know, I do hope they eventually do get it, you know, worked out, and I hope they do find what they need to find. Obviously, you guys saw I talked to Charles Boswell here recently. How great is that guy? I mean, I really like that guy. He's cool, and you know, he's got, I like his no nonsense kind of attitude about justice. That's kind of what I like about him. I get the feeling from Charles Boswell that he's just a really, really good guy. He's he's I like the things that he's talking about that he thinks need to change. Like he wants to create accountability for the Hillsborough Sheriff's Department, talking about it. The fact that it's such a big, sheriff's department and its funding is also huge and everything, and that taxpayers probably do deserve to understand more and better about how that money is being spent and make sure it's not being spent frivolously. To make sure silly things aren't happening like what they did with him in some of his cold cases, particularly with Megan White, who you guys heard him and I talking about. I imagine imagine Ripper's just getting himself situated here, and he'll be here shortly. But yeah, there's a lot of things that are being dug up. And I don't know if you guys listened to Amanda Knox's podcast when she talked about Carol Baskin. The press came out the press came kind of at Amanda after she put out that episode, because Amanda was just saying like, I'm not sure, Amanda was saying, I'm just not sure. But she was acknowledging all of the things that we all saw, like the funny business with the power of attorney and the will and all those things. I mean, she understood all those things, and she also has, some suspicion of Carole. But what the point she was making in her podcast is just that she wasn't making any decisions about it yet. She was basically keeping an open mind. And it was interesting because I saw the next day after the podcast, she was tweeting about the fact that the press was coming at her about it, saying that she thought like Carole was innocent, and that was not what Amanda said. So I mean, you can see the whole Carole Baskin issue creates a lot of controversy, you might say. So it looks like we've got a gentleman here that everybody might want to speak to and hear. So here we go. How's it going?
Look, I'm soaking wet. I'm drenched.
It was coming down pretty hard there in your live, man. Whew.
It was, and I decided to just bite the bullet and go. And I didn't even change clothes. I just thought, let me jump on here real quick and talk about what happened. My phone was dying also, so I got back. I had like 3% battery. I barely made it back.
Right on. So now you're plugged in, or you're on your laptop?
I'm on my laptop.
You're on your laptop.
Yeah,
there you go.
I'm on my laptop.
So, well, I gotta say it's pretty exciting, dude. I've been wondering how long it was going to take for Carole to acknowledge you. So I'm kind of stoked. What are your thoughts here? Some of your thoughts there.
Well, the fact that she's commented before about, like, people have asked her, how come you don't call Ripper back? And she says she's made comments about me, supposedly, right, but she hasn't named me. So I find it hard to believe that she didn't know who I was.
Right.
And someone sent me a message and said, be careful, because she might be acting like she doesn't know you in case something happens to you. It's an alibi. And she can say, I didn't even know who the guy was.
Yeah. Somebody's saying that, by the way. I don't know if that's accurate or not.
But I just find it hard to believe that she's responded to people saying, why don't you call Ripper back? And she said, right, because he's been mean to my people or whatever. But I haven't been mean to any of her people. I've only called her.
Right.
I've emailed her. I called Howard once. I wasn't mean to him. I just asked for Carole. That was it. I didn't call him any names or anything.
Right.
I did tell some stuff about her, like some of her, like her, the stuff that I have learned from people that used to party with her. But other than that, I haven't really been mean. I've just put stuff out there that, like, right, I have documents, and I've showed the documents, and I've talked about them. And I think pretty much everything that I've put out there, I've put actual documents with the videos.
Right. Well, yeah, you're doing most of your kind of math on screen for people. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, if she wants to, if she wants to use my videos as something in the legal process, by all means,
right.
let's dance.
Right. Now that she's mentioned that drive, you want to get your
The
hands on it?
the drive, but what she doesn't know is the people that I've spoke to. She doesn't know how many people I've talked to that have worked for her. She has no idea the people that I've talked to. And these people would have to come forward. And I
Right.
don't think she realizes how many people I have spoke with. Maybe by the time she watches all my videos, she'll figure it out and she'll think, well, that's true. He must have spoke to so and so or so and so, but she might not remember all the people that she's told all these different stories to. So you
Yeah.
know, she might be in a big mess. She's already in a big mess, no
Right.
doubt.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for me, explaining the signatures on the marriage certificate to the power of attorney and will is a big enough thing for her to have to explain alone. Uh, the notary stamp coming to Carol Baskin's house. What the hell? you know, uh, the lady that actually was Wincomp, I think it was, right? She's actually the maid. It's like, what?
There's seven different notary stamps that have been mailed to that address so far that I found.
Oh, wow.
Seven.
Seven notary
Seven different notary stamps have been mailed to that address.
to her
Seven.
address. I mean, what does anybody need? And are they're all to different people, not her, right?
Right, they're different people. Seven different people with notary stampers mailed to that one address that allegedly has all these forged documents. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, you can't make this stuff up.
Oh, it's I mean, hey, look, it's one of those things where there's smoke, there's fire. So I mean, I think we're starting to see the lick of the flames here as it is. Uh you know, I think she's starting to dissemble. I mean, I honestly couldn't believe she hadn't really acknowledged you previous to now. I'm thinking when you were in that little body of water yesterday with the boats, I think you were hitting a sore spot. I think you might have been poking at a spot that's sore or tender.
Well, let me just say this. There was one dog went out first on a boat and hit in two different spots. We go back to the shore, load up a different dog, probably an hour later, go back. That dog hits in the same exact two spots,
Right.
exact spots. But, and I'll explain that the water was really bad, but the sonar said it was like 4.5 to 5 feet deep. But we had these poles that were like 8 and 10 feet long, and you could stick them all the way underwater and
Oh,
you wouldn't
really?
even hit the bottom. So there was so much like tall grass at like
Right.
4 to 5 feet below the boat that you couldn't get down under it. So I don't know how they're going to get down into those areas,
Right.
but
Short of emptying the body of water, I would imagine.
we documented enough stuff out there that law enforcement should go out there and do their own investigation. And if they have to drain or vacuum the bottom, whatever they got to do, they should
Right.
probably do it. And I'm pretty sure. Well, I know some of the local media covered it, and it'll just be a matter of time before um, local law enforcement knows.
Right. 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 Okay, so you had local camera crews there yesterday. Okay, right on, right on.
Well,
Uh,
we had someone there.
oh, you had someone there.
Yeah, and I know you did notice one of the cameras. I know you made a comment about that didn't look like some little camera. That was something
Yeah, that
else.
looked like yeah, that looked
Yeah,
like
that was a
something
nice camera.
serious business there.
Hey,
So,
what's up, Jinxie?
yep. Hey, Jinx. Hey, T1. Let's see.
I
Tigers
I'll
don't
tell
like
you, I
water.
didn't even. I was walking back and I saw your thing. My battery's about to run down. I was like, oh, I should just get back in and go on if we're going to talk about it. So then I sent you the thing, and then my battery went dead on my phone, and I was
Oh,
trying to get it plugged in. I was like, oh, I'll just grab the laptop and get that fired up.
yep. There you go. Well, I'm glad you're able to get home there and over here and join
Yeah.
us. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was pretty stoked when I saw you. I want her to sue you. I mean, I don't want you to get sued, but I want her to sue you just because I know how the discovery process goes both ways. So I'm just as excited about that process as you are. So, I mean,
Yeah, now, and I don't want to be sued by her.
right.
However, if she wants to go through the process, she has to understand that there's a big risk for her, and she better be clean as a whistle. And she probably should go and look at all the videos that I've done and figure out exactly what it is
How
that I know.
exposed she is, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's I'll just there's a lot of stuff that I know that is not out there yet. And I don't know if she wants to play. I just don't know if she wants to play that game.
Right.
I mean, she might. And if she does, it's going to be
Right. It's going to be blow for blow, right?
it's going to be something. But here's the thing. If it does happen, now, and here's something to think about. If it does happen, then I'll probably have to quit publishing some of the stuff that I have.
Right.
Because I don't want it out there before it goes into court. So she might want to sue me just to try to shut me up.
Right.
And, there's other people that I can give stuff to that can publish stuff.
Right. Yes. I'd say you
wink,
probably
wink,
know
wink.
plenty of those people now.
Yeah, there's plenty of people. But I really don't think that some of the people that I've talked to, I do not think she wants them to be subpoenaed because they have so much information about her. I just don't think it would be a good idea for her. And she has to know that.
Yeah, I would think, I mean, if she initiates it, it's gonna go badly for her too. I mean, she's gotta see that. I gotta imagine. Or at least she's not gonna get it, she's not gonna skate away from it damage free anyway. So
now, could you imagine her in a deposition where I have an attorney that can ask her questions?
Right.
And I mean, there's certain
Under oath.
questions. I mean, there's questions that I want to ask her, like, when did you last see Don Lewis?
Right.
Like, and who was with you? who was with you when you filed the missing persons report? And how did you get the files from Buffy McGee? And I mean, there's so many different things that I could ask her, and I don't think she wants to. I mean, she would have to tell the truth, and if she tells the truth, it's going to affect not just her, but the USDA, Florida Fish and Wildlife, local law enforcement. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be brought into it, and I don't think they're going to allow her to do it. Yeah. They don't want to be brought into it, and
right.
I just can't imagine they would be like, go ahead and do it, Carole. Go ahead and sue him, and we'll just take our chance. I don't think they're going to risk being exposed. I don't think they will. But they can try.
Yeah. Well, you never know which way they're going to go, obviously. But I'll tell you what, she probably has cause for concern. She didn't exactly look like she was,
rode hard and put away wet.
Well, she did look a tiny bit defeated, and I get that. I totally agree with you there. But she also didn't look like she was trying to be over boisterous or anything. Like, it kind of sounds like she's kind of right now in a thinking, like in a holding pattern, trying to figure out what she needs to do is kind of what it looks like to me.
I thought her hair looked real pretty. I thought her hair looked nice.
Yeah, it looked okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought her hair looked nice. I would like to know what kind of conditioner she's using. I mean, I could use some hair care products. But what really caught me right off the beginning is her saying, I came across this playlist. I'm like, right. No. So someone had to send it to her.
Right.
And I mean, you don't come across a playlist, you come across videos. Yeah, usually. She came across so who sent it to her? I would like to know who sent it to her. I mean, that would be a question I would ask. Wouldn't really matter, but I just be curious. And why is she lying about it? Why couldn't she just say someone sent it to me?
Right.
but I came across this playlist, and then she almost said, like, she put some doubt into the manuscript, like it's too detailed to make up or whatever it is, but where's the rest of it? I have the rest of it, and I think I will probably, maybe tomorrow, I will just publish the whole thing. Maybe
Okay.
I'll just publish all 8 pages of it, and people can really see how obsessed she was with Don Lewis, allegedly.
Right. Right. I did hear her in her video where she was saying something along the lines of that she says Ripper tries to suggest that things were going badly between Don and I and whatever, but that couldn't be further from the truth. We were fine. We were, whatever, blah blah blah. She's like, I was concerned about him, and she was talking all about that mental health thing and whatever, right? And she's like, well, I was concerned about him, but I, blah blah blah. And she's like trying to explain all of it away, and I'm just going, not buying it. I'm not buying it because
No.
she was obviously upset at that time. There was something about, right? There was a comment Don made about the fact that she has like her gun on her all the time or something like that, and that he couldn't find his, I think, or something like that, right? Is that right?
That's, well, I don't know. I haven't watched her entire video because I was away. Like when I watched like the first 5 minutes of it, and then I started getting all these messages from people. And so
Right.
then I watched it again, like part of it, and then I was like, oh, this is too good. And then I thought, I'm just going to go ahead and do it live.
Yeah, right.
And I did it. And then, of course,
I was just thinking
hit.
there was a conflicting story to that it wasn't all hunky dory as she's trying to say in the video. I seem to remember there was some conflict there, but so I thought that was interesting.
They had a lot of conflict. Matter of
Right.
fact, they had so much conflict that Gladys, I think it was 1994, the last time that Gladys saw Dawn. Gladys says that Dawn told her, don't ever leave the girls alone with Carole. She's dangerous. So they would have had to have some kind of conflict for him to tell Gladys, don't ever leave the girls alone with her.
Right.
I mean, he had to know something.
Something was definitely going on to say that, definitely.
I mean, to tell someone don't leave the girls, and these girls were, they weren't little kids. Like, they were, Donna would probably be 18 or 19 years old.
At the time, right.
So the others would have been, 15, 17. So they weren't little kids.
Right.
But to say don't ever leave them alone with her,
yeah,
there had to be something going on. He knew something.
Yeah, that tells you he was concerned. Obviously, there was some instability for him to make that kind of a statement. So
yeah, and Jinx, you're right. Somebody needs to start downloading all of those videos. T1.
Yeah. Oh, does she talk about how bad her marriage was in those? Okay, perfect.
Hold on. I got to make sure my shoes don't smell like sardine oil. Nope. They just smell like Fritos.
Smell your shoes. Oh, there you go. That's T1.
Yeah, T1's a funny guy.
Yeah, he is. So, I mean, yeah. So there's the rotary stamps. There's the fact that the one we're all up in arms about with the documents we're worried about was coming to the maid, which is odd. Remember when we were talking about the property in Costa Rica? I remember when you guys were on last week, right? And you want to keep that one? Okay, well, we'll not talk about that one then. So, but
that's a good one.
We're hinting at it. There's something there. Anyways, no.
It's a good one.
Yeah. So,
but yes, that one is. Yeah, because I do not want her to know about that.
Right. Got it.
And I mean, but that's a good one though. That's one that she could be sued for that, I think, today. If that guy wants to sue her, I think he can, because he just learned of this stuff last week.
Right.
This is newly turned over evidence, newly discovered evidence, and I think he could sue her in a heartbeat, and he wants to. So I don't want her to know the details on that. But
we won't get into any details. But So all
Yep.
kinds of interesting things on the horizon, folks. But
Oh
we'll have to
man,
see how it plays out.
there's so much information. It's absolutely amazing. We have such a good group of people that are getting information. I mean, I have, I mean, I have people that watched her video and that are commenting on my videos about stuff like, "Hey, I just saw you on Carol's channel.
Right.
Like, do you need me to do something for you?" Like stuff like that. I'm like,
I
join the
saw
group
somebody on
if
your
you want
live
help.
that was saying they actually came to you because of Carol
Right.
talking about you, right?
Yeah. Did she not know that would happen? It's good stuff. I mean, you can't make it up, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, you'd think she would know some of this about YouTube, being as she was the big, big cat person that got on social media first and, basically elbowed everybody else out. You would think she'd know these things.
Jinxie, yes, I did talk about it, but I don't want to bring it up again. But the people that heard it will know. But yes, I did talk about it, but I don't want to bring it up right now.
Right.
I can't remember if I was drinking or not. When I don't think I was, but I still leaked it out. But
I don't know if Jinxie passed you something. I don't know, but I don't, but
I agree with Rhonda. She probably is sweating bullets. And I think probably about right now, Carol's probably just finished watching me interview Kenny Farr's ex-wife, and she's probably like, "What the hell? What the hell?" And now she's watching my interviews with Ann McQueen,
right.
and she's probably like, "What is going on? Why are these people talking to this YouTuber? Why are they talking to him?" I bet right now she is. I bet she is. But we'll see if she puts a video out tomorrow. If she has big bags under her eyes from being up all night watching my interviews with
Yeah.
Ann.
That's funny. Oh, that's great. Yeah, well, that'll be interesting to see if we get a video from her tomorrow.
No, I gotta get
one every day.
Right? More water. Hold on, I gotta get some more water. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're covered in it, by the way. This is gonna get interesting, folks. I mean, this is why after Johnny went live, after Ripper went live, I was just like, oh my God, this is perfect. She's the cage is rattled. I mean, that much is certain. Because she is now directly trying to answer the allegations Ripper is, bringing to the table. An entire 40-minute video trying to just refuting one video. I can imagine we have lots of videos coming on the horizon.
And that was just a couple of pages from the manuscript. Wait till I release the rest of it. and she acted like she was like, I don't even know if this is real. She's like, it looks like it's too elaborate to fake it or whatever. But
right.
She knows. She has to know it's real. She has a really good memory.
Yeah.
But the stuff in that manuscript has dates and different things. And you notice she was changing dates. She was talking about different dates because my videos prove her wrong, basically. So
right.
She's going to have to go back and change her dates. And then she's going to figure out that, oh man, he knows these diary entries are all wrong and he can prove it. And she's really screwed. She's probably going to figure it out pretty quick if she watches the rest of them.
Well,
let's hope she watches the whole playlist.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I think there'll be more videos coming. As soon as she starts looking into more of your stuff, she's going to want to start to refute more of that. Probably won't be able to resist trying to refute Ann McQueen, in my opinion.
She should, and she should try to refute Kenny Farr's ex-wife also. She should. I mean, I would if I were her, but she's going to have a tough time. But here's the thing. She starts trying to refute this stuff. She's going to start lying even more, and she's just going to give people more information to look for. You know? So her best my advice to you, Carol, is just shut the F up.
Yeah, take lessons from the state of Wisconsin's law enforcement and shut up.
Yeah,
or don't though. I prefer you don't. So just keep talking.
No, we want her to keep oversharing.
Right. Exactly.
That's exactly what we want her to do.
But, you know, in the interest of fairness, we got to at least suggest her best avenue, right? So there it was. It was suggested. But we'll love to keep hearing from you, Carole.
And we got to remember, I mean, she could be innocent, you know. I mean,
very good point.
Innocent until proven guilty. I mean, there could have been. Well, here's the thing. There could have been someone else that done something.
Yeah.
But it appears that Carole knew. She knows more than what she's saying because she did some things that appear that she knew Dawn was never coming back. So if she's innocent, she knows something. And if she's totally innocent, she made some really bad moves by breaking into the office, by giving Kenny Farr Don Lewis's guns, by disconnecting his cell phone, by telling Ann McQueen, you can quit calling Don, I have his phone. Like those are 4 things that she did that make it appear that she knew he was never coming back.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
And if she knew he wasn't coming back, how did she know that? That's what I get hung up on every time when I think, okay, is she innocent? Now,
how would he go missing without his phone? You know what I mean? Wouldn't that be with him?
Well, he always had his phone. Ann McQueen told me the second time I interviewed her, not on my channel, but another time, she said probably the only time Don didn't have his phone is if he was having sex. And even then, it was questionable that he might have it.
Yeah.
So there's no way he would have went on a trip without it.
So no guarantees with Don, huh?
That's what Ann said. She said he always had it. The only time he didn't have it is probably when he's having sex. She goes, but even then, I don't know.
Right. And he was actually moving a bunch of cars, right? He was shipping a bunch of cars to Costa Rica that day, right? So that would have most likely required some coordination that he would have needed to be on his phone to kind of orchestrate, right?
Yeah, here's the details on that. So Monday, he was supposed to get up early.
Right.
And drive to Miami. And there was 3 cars and a box truck, and the box truck had stuff in it. So what they would do is he would call people on Sunday to drive the cars to Miami. So there was a guy by the name of Mr. Baker that would normally drive a car, sometimes Mr. Baker's son, and sometimes Kenny. So he would have called those 3 people on Sunday and said, hey, we're leaving tomorrow morning at 3 o'clock in the morning to get to Miami to load the cars on the barge. I'll take the truck. And then he would also have someone else take a car so everybody could come back together in one car. And then sometimes Don might fly back or he'd ride back in the car. But none of those people got called on Sunday. Mr. Baker didn't get called. His son didn't get called. Nobody got called. So
these people that would normally be involved with what he was doing, right?
Yeah, they would have been called to say, hey, we're leaving tomorrow at 3 a.m. But Ann didn't get called that weekend, and none of the people who would normally drive the cars for him got called on Sunday either. Mm-hmm. And then Carole says she saw him Sunday morning or Monday morning when he was leaving. So she's the last person to ever have seen him.
Yeah.
And no one else heard from him except for Ann on Friday afternoon at 1:30. Now, I did talk to a couple of people that have said they might have seen him that weekend, but they can't be 100% certain it was that weekend or the weekend before.
Oh, okay.
And if it was that weekend, I'm like, well, why didn't he call Ann back? Like he would have had to call her at some point. But that's what makes me think that here's another thing. One of those guys that I talked to, he thinks that he might have seen Dawn on Sunday, and he went and met with the sheriff's department or talked to them on Monday, maybe Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that they couldn't find his original statement because when I talked to him, I said, when you talk to them, ask them to get you your original statement so you can see what you said. If you said it was that weekend or the weekend before, well, they can't find his original statement.
Convenient.
It's horrible because he's like, he said, I would have told them when I saw him. Like,
Right.
but they don't have the statement from him. So who knows?
Oh, and he doesn't remember exactly what he said now.
Well, he just can't. He saw him on a Sunday.
Yeah, he's just unsure of which weekend. Right.
If it was the 17th or if it was the 10th. Yeah, he doesn't know for sure.
Right. So yeah, that's crazy. And well, to me, the fact that document has gone missing is fishy. So it leads me to believe there may have been something in it that wasn't favorable to somebody.
I mean, yeah, if he says he saw him on the 10th, then that means, yeah, nobody saw Don that weekend except for Carole.
Right.
I mean, and that looks bad.
Yeah.
That looks really bad.
Right.
So the fact that they can't find it, I'm just like, oh man, another thing lost with the sheriff's department.
Probably had it, just didn't answer it. Oh, regarding the phone.
What's that?
Jinx here, her comment. She's saying, I think she's referring to Don and his phone. She's saying he probably had it and just didn't answer it. Is that in reference to Anne McQueen, Jinxie? Well, I don't see any.
Yeah, I don't know what she's talking about.
But anyway, all right. Well,
Anne also paged Don too. She paged him over the weekend. She paged him. They had a 911 code.
But no responses, right?
And yeah, he never responded to her at all.
And in fact, you just said a minute ago that Carole told her stop calling Don's phone, right? Because I have it. Right.
Yeah, and Anne says she would have told her that on August 26th, 27th, or 28th. So it would have been Don was reported missing on the 19th. So the week after that is when Carole would have told Anne to quit calling his phone.
Okay. So, yeah. And the fact that Don's never found and the phone is, and the fact that what you're saying that Don was never without his phone, not even during sex most of the time, I mean, it's damn odd for her to have that.
What a coincidence, right?
Yeah. I mean, you somehow found his phone, but not him.
You're the last person to see him alive. You have his phone. You disconnect it. You break into his office. You had a fight with him just a few days before he went missing. He filed a protection order against you two months before he went missing. He told a lot of people he was going to divorce you. He was scared of you.
Right.
Just a bunch of coincidences. That's all.
Yeah. It's just a bunch of coincidences.
Just a bunch of coincidences. I mean, she just has bad luck. I mean,
oh yeah, it is. Yeah, terrible luck. Yes.
And then you have the power of attorney and the will, and all the signatures on all those documents are the exact same. Just another coincidence. Just another coincidence that all the signatures appear to have been traced. She has such bad luck.
Yeah.
Bad luck. I mean,
right.
She's been victimized so many times.
If she didn't have bad luck, she wouldn't have any luck at all. Look at, she came from basically nothing and now owns Big Cat Rescue and lots of big cats and, lots of property. And
yeah,
it's a rough life for Carole. I mean,
from sleeping under cars at truck stops to now having $46 million. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. Poor Carole.
Yeah, definitely. There we go. Carole certainly doesn't really deserve that sympathy, but it's. I will say that Johnny's right, though. Ripper's right, folks, about the fact that she is innocent until proven guilty, and you guys know how much that means to me over here on my channel because obviously I'm talking about wrongfully convicted situations, probably 90 to 95% of the time. So that is something here that y'all want to be mindful of. Now, it doesn't mean I'm not with you on suspecting her. I'm totally with you on that. But just remember to keep it, within reason, until it can be proven. in court. That's all I'm saying.
That's right. That's right. Innocent until proven guilty. And I don't have a smoking gun, but I have a lot of
A lot of smoke.
I have a lot of smoke. Yeah, a lot of smoke. I mean, Jinxie's in the chat. Jinxie could probably tell us how much. What did she say? If it weren't for the gutter, I'd be homeless. Oh God. She said if it weren't for the gutter, her mind would be homeless or something.
Because she explained what she was talking about. The other thing about him not answering, she was suggesting that it was while he was doing the deed that he didn't answer. So that's where the gutter statement comes from. So now ask her what you wanted her to ask, or what did you want to ask her?
Hey, send Carole an email with the link to this. See if we can get her. Get her on here. Email her the link to this stream. Let's get her on here.
See if she joined this.
I don't know what her email is off the top of my head, but
30.
I think one of these.
Said they don't sleep, right? So she's likely awake, right?
I think I will one of these days when I go live. I think I'll email her a link to join and see if she'll jump on. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, would be. There, Sue is asking.
She said she found it in one of the vehicles. She told Ann she found it in one of the vehicles. You can quit calling. I have his phone. Ann, that's where'd you get it from or whatever? And she said I found it in one of the vehicles. But from what I understand, she told law enforcement. I'm not going to say what she told law enforcement. I'm going to see because when they ask her, we'll see what she tells them this time. I'm sure she'll tell them, but she told them something different. I'll just say that. She did not tell them the same thing, but she did tell them she had his phone, but I won't say how she got it, but she told them a different story.
Ah, interesting. We think about changing stories over here, folks. You guys have been listening to me talk about Daniel Holtzclaw this morning and his second accuser. So you heard me talking all about changing stories and how I feel about that this morning. So, anyways, so
I'm glad you're covering that because I've talked to his dad. I talked to his dad probably maybe 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
And I'll go through my stuff, see if I can find his information. But his dad was pretty receptive, but I just got really, really bad and couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
But Daniel could use the help. For sure.
His sister, folks, was the first one to comment in my premiere today as it was getting ready to start. You'll see it as Daniel Holtzclaw, but she explains I'm Daniel's sister, and she's basically offering me anything I want. If there's anything that I want to just ask him, and that's all I have to do is ask him. So I thought I was touched, obviously, to get that olive branch extended. If there's anything that I'm feeling is lacking from Brian Bates's coverage of the Holtzclaw case, I mean, I'll be sure to ask him. But right now, just absorbing everything that Brian Bates has brought to the table is a task. So. But yeah, I'll be excited to ask them for things later that maybe I feel like I'm not getting from Brian Bates. So
and maybe you talk to Michelle Macon too.
Okay. Yeah, I could. I mean, I'm just trying to. Yeah, I mean, mainly just trying to get all through everything that Brian is putting out there because obviously he does a very comprehensive coverage of the investigation and the trial, and so once I get to that point, I'm definitely going to want to start reaching out to other commentators. And that sort of. I mean, I even want to get Brian Bates himself on at some point, and to talk with me. But I want to wait till I get further along and more up to speed.
So the Brendan Dassey case. Once you learn everything inside and out, then get like Michelle on your channel, and I mean she has a wealth of knowledge on that case, and she's a superstar anyway, but. She's been banned from Twitter, so she needs to go on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, all right, maybe I'll reach out to her sooner than later.
Tell her she can have your Twitter.
Yeah. Well, maybe
She
she
got
doesn't
banned.
want it. Maybe she doesn't want it with the guy that's bugging the heck out of me right now. But anyway.
All right. Hey, I'm gonna go. I'm
Yeah.
gonna change my wet clothes. But thanks for
Let Ripper
covering
get dried off.
thanks for covering the cadaver dogs. Yesterday, I was glad to see that pop up on my phone, and I didn't have very good service, so I couldn't do it live. I mean, I was lucky to be able to upload stuff. But
Right. That's why I figured, I think I can help Johnny out here. If I go live and just start talking about this stuff he's uploading today, people will just be over there looking for it. So that was basically my goal. And I wanted to prep the whole rally thing coming this coming weekend. I wanted to go ahead and talk about that and talk that up so people know it's coming. So I had a couple reasons for going live yesterday, but definitely one was those videos you were putting up with the cadaver dogs were brilliant. So that was awesome.
Crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was crazy. I was just sitting there thinking, if she comes to join Ripper, you have to come back and question her. Who's Jinxie talking about?
I think she's talking about. I think she sent the email to Carole. So I think what she's saying is if Carole was to show up after you leave. But I think Johnny and I, or Ripper and I, are going to go ahead and cut it off together. But definitely, if you get a response, Jinxie, you let us know.
Most definitely, yes.
I'll tell you what. I'll schedule another one tonight if you get a response, and I'll go back again. I'll be back here again.
Hell yeah, let's do it. All right, man. Take care, everybody. Stay safe out there.
Try, buddy. Everybody out there, if you haven't already, please hit subscribe, and we'll see you.
Are you logging off too?
I'm going to be leaving the call as well.